Hello, and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. We take a look at the daily chart, pretty much same price level when I made the video yesterday. So we haven't really moved much overnight. It pushed a little bit higher, but it's not really a launch because it hasn't really gone higher than expected. But we take a look at that on the smaller time frame. Just quick explanation here on the daily chart, as we pretty much do it every day, at least once. And here you can see that the price is still on its way to the next upside Fibonacci level at 67,300. I did explain it, however, in the video yesterday that there are some resistance levels below, so we might not get to 67,300 exactly. This is simply here on the daily chart a projection of the rally that happened between the 5th of August and the 8th of August, 9th of August. That's for wave Y, and it's for wave W, and the Y wave would typically reach that 100% extension level. But as I said, the Y wave, yeah, it would be ideal, but in the Y wave we have an ABC structure, and for the C wave those targets are reached a little bit before. So the yellow wave count just reminds us of the risk that the rally is a B wave. And there's nothing that would at the moment invalidate a B wave or make it less likely. Okay, so it can be a B wave. All it means is we have to be on high alert now because we've moved. I mean, in the support area, risk was low for a long position. Now it's naturally high from the perspective of the daily chart. And as we go a little higher, we're approaching this trend line there and Fibonacci resistance. And I just want to make sure everybody understands that while upside momentum is clear now, so we have some upside momentum even though it's weak. If we see a first break of micro support, I think it's around 60. Now we'll take a look at it on a smaller time frame, and we see a first 5-wave move down. That could be wave 1 of C to the downside in yellow. Then we get a wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. The risk is high for that, but it's too early to get bearish. But that would be the short-term bearish scenario on the daily. Short-term bullish would mean a breakout of this range. That would be a good signal, breaking out of this trend line which the price has respected since March, and then getting to 74K in third wave, then form a fourth wave and a fifth, and then we have 5 waves up in wave 1. Then we can watch for the wave 2 pullback, and it goes like that, okay? So this is what we are tracking here on the Bitcoin daily chart. Short-term bearish should be clear. What exactly these support levels are, well, we'll find that out on the smaller time frame. And even in white wave 3, the bullish count, it's, I think, unlikely that it just extends directly. I think also the third wave would be a larger A, B, C structure. So at some point we should get a pullback, maybe after reaching that area there, 66, 67K trend line. So we take a look at the smaller time frame now. Here I mentioned to you in yesterday's video that I would find it more likely to at least touch maybe 62,087. Well, it came close, but it didn't touch it. So it might still do that. This is not a launch yet. It hasn't really gone higher than expected. It's just reached the next upside Fib level at 64,800, but exactly. So that was my first ideal target for the third wave. So I cannot rule out that this is already the third. I don't know, it's difficult to say, and the problem is it's not a 5-wave move up anyway, and it won't be because we're moving in a diagonal pattern. So it's difficult to say if this was already the top of the third and if we're already in the fourth. But if we're already in the fourth wave, the support area wouldn't really change. So I just leave it where it is now to pretty much account for different scenarios, to account for the idea that this rally could have been a B wave. Okay, then support should probably be a bit higher now, but I'll leave it where it is. Also, if it was a third wave, I would have to adjust it a bit. But see, it wouldn't change much. So I prefer to leave support due to that uncertainty here, and it's still range movement. I mean, it's fake out, right? It can, short-term bearish would mean we're in a C wave now, internally. Yeah, so again, this is the 1-hour chart. Talked yesterday about the idea that an A wave of wave 3 topped here around the 19th of September. Then in the short-term bearish count, this could be an A wave and a high B wave, and we do a C wave, and then we go up further. But if the third wave already topped overnight, so obviously it reached my first ideal target, well, then we are now in the fourth wave. Then we're now in this fourth wave. And again, that's not really short-term bearish. I mean, they both allow for a pullback again. So it's difficult to say because we're dealing with the messiness of a diagonal pattern. And fourth waves are incredibly messy anyway. You see that. I mean, it's quite clear we should be in a fourth wave probably. But the question is it this degree? Is it the blue smaller degree fourth wave? Or maybe even that B wave? They're all messy. That's what corrective patterns are. And also, all of that is happening. Don't forget, all of that is happening in a diagonal pattern. So the move from the 16th of September low is likely a diagonal. So it's all big mess. And not only that, the entire move from if it's bullish, the entire move from the August low is a diagonal as well. So it's all completely messed up, this microstructure. But that's okay, you know, we have levels to watch. Between 60,219 and 62,087. As I said, I will leave it unchanged. I'll take those micro levels out, however, we don't need them. And yeah, you know, I think if it the only thing, if it doesn't give us a decent pullback now, I would call it as a third wave still in the making, and that, you know, that the B wave bottomed here, something like that happened, and we're now in the third wave and it just extends a bit higher. But overall, I don't think a major top has been struck. There is no evidence for a major top. We just have to allow the price to move in this range a little bit, come down to support if needed. The levels are unchanged. Support starts at 62,087 and any break. So yesterday I mentioned to you, if we break above, so that was yesterday's high, 64K, that I assume it will get to 64,800. So now I'm telling you, if we break above 64,800, we should get to 65,800 next. That's pretty much everything we can do right now, as we're moving still in an overall sideways range here pretty much. And overall is still corrective action. Don't look for 5-wave movements here. They might not form because this is all part of a diagonal. So that's the update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.